For a prince among goal scorers, a return to the Palace. 12 years ago, Steve Coppell took a chance on an unknown from a Sunday League team. Ian Wright became instrumental in the club's successes of the early 90s, but since moving to Arsenal, he's had the indecency to score against Palace every time he's played them. Amongst those trying to break that sequence is defender Herman Hreidarsson, born on a small volcanic island off the coast of Iceland and recommended to the club by the disc jockey David Jensen's wife, herself Icelandic. Palace considered man-marking Dennis Bergkamp, but then dropped the idea, so Hreidarsson is part of a back three. Neil Shipperley returns to add weight to the attack. Jamie Smith's arrival from Wolves is still awaited, and Lombardo's fellow Italian Ivano Bonetti is on the bench. Mark Overmars' ankle injury means the Arsenal midfield is disrupted for the first time in the Premiership this season. Luis Boa-Morte takes the Dutchman's place. Lee Dixon's groin injury gives another chance to Gilles Grimandi. Bristolian Steve Dunn is this afternoon's referee. Palace yet to win a home game. They did beat Wimbledon here in what technically was an away game. Arsenal defending the Premiership's only remaining unbeaten record, and also a very fine record on this ground. Only one defeat in 14 visits. Vieira. Arsenal starting the game as very strong favourites. Grimandi to Parler. Cut out by Simon Roger. And this is the Palace skipper Andy Roberts. Dean Gordon, well found and well played to Warhurst. Vieira. Parler. Roger is the Palace player with him. Simon Roger bought for only £1,000 from Bognor Regis Town. Grimandi. Now Warhurst finding Lombardo. The first blow struck in anger. Lombardo has been Palace's main inspiration this season so far. Vieira. I'm not surprised that Jamie Fullerton's gone down. This is Ray Parler for Arsenal. Corner conceded by Hreidarsson. Petit with the corner. Linegan's header away. Bergkamp, wonderful control. And through the legs of Gordon. Five waiting for the cross. Adams. Well, Kevin Miller is going to have to resign himself to a busy afternoon, I suspect. Bergkamp. Boa-Morte. Palace funneling back, but this is Ian Wright. And that's a clear obstruction by Andy Linegan. Former teammates Linegan and Wright until earlier this year. A foul, but not in the view of the referee, a booking. Not necessarily in the ideal position for Bergkamp, this free kick. But one's wary of saying that because here he is. And some shirt pulling surely by Edworthy on Boa-Morte. First sight with the naked eye, that looked a clear penalty. Play's allowed to continue. This is Dean Gordon. Arsenal are indignant that they didn't get a spot kick. Fullerton, poor first touch. Parler. Bergkamp. Parler. Wright's waiting. Linegan was in the way. And there, just look at the amount of Boa-Morte's shirt that Edworthy had hold of, and that, for me, is the clearest of penalties. Linegan. More mistake now. Could let in Ian Wright. Good save. First time he's been called upon, but it's Wright again. Appeals for handball against Linegan. That was the first effort, which brought a decent stop from Kevin Miller. This was the contentious moment. Well, it will be very harsh to give a penalty for that. Palace must presumably be heartened by their display in the first half in at least keeping Arsenal more or less at bay, but as an attacking force we didn't see too much of them. They had enough of the ball, but there was little sign of a cutting edge, so perhaps that's one of the things that Steve Coppell and Ray Lewington will have been working on at half-time. Raimondi. Bergkamp beaten in the air by Paredes. Warhurst. Parler. Ian Wright. Roberts is backpedaling. It's still Wright. And it's still Wright. And it was Edworthy who ultimately got in the way. The ball seemed to be attached to Ian Wright by a piece of string. Edworthy. Again, Palace are outnumbered. It's Winterburn, and this is Petit. Edworthy. Only two inside the penalty area. And Edworthy was fouled after the ball had gone by Luis Boamorte. This was the moment that earned the booking. Late and ungainly. Roger with the free kick. Oh, and it came off Adams. I think the Arsenal captain was surprised it got as far as him. But it was a teasing free kick. Whipped in by Roger. The aerial battalions in front of Adams perhaps confused him. David Platt is being sent on by Arsenal with nearly an hour gone in place of Luis Boamorte. The end of his first Premiership start. Platt has scored in both his last two games. Bergkamp. Rather unnecessarily involved with Fullerton. Now Bergkamp could be in serious trouble here. If he receives a yellow card here and referee Dunn has one poised in his hand, then the player of the month for August and September will miss most of November, including a home fixture with Manchester United. For that challenge, it's a heavy price to pay. Paredes. Warhurst, this time with room to turn. Shipley through the middle, couldn't find him. Now Warhurst. Vieira. Right to his left. Fullerton tugging at his arm. Bergkamp. Cleverly disguised. Dean Gordon. Adams. Platt. Roberts. Oh, careless. This is Bergkamp. Wright's inside him. And here's Petit. Well, there was a moment of indecision between Petit and Wright as to who was going to take that ball. Had Petit been more decisive? Who knows? Vieira. Bergkamp. Parler. Well, that's an act of desperation. Bergkamp. Mendes. Bergkamp. It's not really been Bergkamp's sort of game. He's been unable to impose himself for any length of time. And moments like that have been few and far between. Barely 5 minutes away from a goalless draw for the team that started the day top of the Premiership. Vieira. Arsenal famed in days of yore for last-minute goals. Roger. That's a good ball to Schipperle. And Dar's inside him. But really, there were precious few options for Neil Schipperle. Petit. Adams. A late foray forward from the captain. Bergkamp. Bonetti. Oh, and that was an outrageous attempt by Bergkamp to win a free kick. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt and suggest it was a delayed reaction, but really. Seaman can't pick the ball up, and now he could be in trouble. Did he bring Ndar down? No, the free kick's gone the other way. Well, half the Palace coaching staff are off the bench. Well, in fairness, perhaps the initial foul was by Ndar, but then Seaman dragged him down. So the free kick presumably was given for the first infringement. Roberts. There's the final whistle. And I would imagine that the Eagles will consider it's been a better day for them than for the Gunners. First half controversy over the penalty that wasn't given. It should have gone to Arsenal. Ian Wright fails to score against his former club for the first time. And Arsene Wenger must now manage without Dennis Bergkamp for 3 matches, including a meeting with the reigning champions Manchester United after his 5th booking of the season today. But moments of inspiration were very, very rare. There was a paucity of entertainment, and unsurprisingly this London derby has finished in stalemate.